as profound as that experience of God. Our values need to be able to inform and give shape to all that we need now to save ourselves and the rich life on this planet. And within the context of this new framework, we rediscover the mission of the human being. And in particular, in the context of this writing, the mission of U.S. Americans as we face a planetary crisis. So she goes on to talk then about this kind of a consciousness, and that we need to really somehow break ourselves out of what I call a flatland spirituality to something that's very deep and broad, a cosmology, an understanding, a coming to know of ourselves as human beings in a new way, in a new moment in historical time as human beings. So I think one of the things that sort of engages us or calls us into that kind of a consciousness or breaks us out sometimes is to enter into other people's realities and other people's thinkings and way of being. So I'd like to invite those of you that would like to venture there this afternoon as the presentation and our discussion goes on to do that. And I have here in the middle of the room some things I'm going to explain. And then those of you that would like to be brave and take on a different kind of consciousness, I'm going to invite you to do that. And then and to listen to whatever the creature, the element is that you have, for whatever wisdom or insights might be coming from that place, those people, that element, that maybe brings insight into our work here, and even into your planning later this afternoon, to sort of broaden our consciousness and also our spirituality. So I'm just going to explain a couple of the things, and I'm going to invite you to come forth. I have some creatures here, so you're welcome to take those. But then I also have some cloth. These two cloths right here are from women of Bangladesh. And Bangladesh is a country with no military, and they are probably one of the countries on the foreline of the climate change, and this is from women there. This cloth is from Jharsuguda, India, and this was sort of a pilgrimage that I made to the people there that are suffering from uranium mining. India's more and more doing uranium mining. It's on indigenous land. The people are very economically challenged. A lot of children are being born with defects, dying, women dying of cancer. The elders, the men, we were there as a kind of solidarity mission, and several of the men had stayed with us when we attended the Indigenous World Uranium Conference in Window Rock several years ago. And so they invited us to come, and we came, and they gifted us with this, which is one of their traditional cloths, and it was gifted to us by about 50 men and the leader of their tribe, so our dear brothers and sisters in India. Peru is being affected a lot by climate change and the gross spending on militarization of the U.S. and then how we export some of that. So I have two hats here from Peru. I have water from the melting glaciers in Canada. I have deer spirit here. The redwood forests from up in some of you are from the northwest. And this is from a giant redwood. I just heard that the giant redwoods are being threatened because the fog is diminishing because of the change in the climate. This is a fossil from the ocean and various other things, and our planet, the Earth. So I just, oh, and then these are little musical instruments that were on the table over there. They're from the Middle East. So I just invite any of you that would like to come and anything that might speak to you, just to carry that with you and hold it and listen to whatever wisdom it might have as we continue this afternoon. And you don't have to be shy. Several of you can do it at one time. this afternoon. If you feel moved to, if something calls to you that's still left there, including our planet Earth, feel free to just get up during the afternoon and gather that symbol and hold it and see what wisdom it might bring you. So the other thing I might just mention is what I do now is I work with climate change issues, specifically through an organization called New Mexico Interfaith Power and Light, engaging faith communities in these concern and making the connections, engaging them in lifestyle changes, addressing carbon footprint, energy efficiency, renewable energies, and then public policy advocacy, especially for renewable energies and for a climate change bill. And so with that work, there were a number of things this morning as they were being spoken that just clicked off thoughts in my mind. And one of the conversations was that people don't really listen to the moral or the ethical. Well, let's say 3 years ago I really believed that, and every time I would go to a hearing and speak about the need for renewables or against nuclear energy or whatever the area might be with that, I would always address the ethical, the spiritual perspective, and I get these looks like, who are you, what are you saying, that doesn't really fit in this place of power. Well, I've seen a gradual shift in that and a change to this point where others are talking about these moral, ethical concerns and the soul concerns even. And I have to say, I was at a meeting 2 weeks ago with P&M, which is our power company, and a number of other people where again and again that came up, the moral and the ethical concerns and what people really want and need and desire is a future for the children and to live in a more whole way, sustainable way on the planet. And I was very surprised, I have to say. So I think that is the language we need to continue to speak and to say. I mean, that is who we are as people of faith, and I think we bring that strongly. We need to bring that perspective strongly, because the other perspectives have not been being heard, and we just need to keep saying from that perspective with this issue. I wanted to say that. And then the other thing I wanted to say is, the reason I want to talk about the climate change meeting in Copenhagen that I attended in December in this context is because the situation we're in with climate change right now is because of fossil fuels. The situation that we're facing with the nuclear weapons, with the nuclear energy, is because of fossil fuel consumption and the warming of the planet. All these things are related. And I think within it we need to know more and more our solidarity with the peoples on the rest of the planet and the peoples wherever we live. Like some of the work that I do is really very much in solidarity with the indigenous peoples. Oh, that reminds me. This is from the Zuni Pueblo, and it reminds me someone needs to hold this during the talk too, to see what wisdom there is. So, Rosemary? So anyway, as an example, I work with MACE as part of another nonprofit and part of the Partnership for Earth Spirituality. MACE is the Multicultural Alliance for a Safe Environment, and Sister Rosemary works with that as well. And it's been very interesting, again, part of what I think is an evolving new consciousness and something new happening on the planet in terms of human beings. In our state, it's been very difficult to work interculturally. We have a long history that's still held of colonialism